Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. That was, of course, Lady Gaga singing the national anthem earlier this morning at the Capitol. It's Wednesday, January 20th. I'm Tori here with my beloved friends, Brandon and Lindsay. Let's get started. It's a big day, y'all.
It is.
Big day for America. This is it. New day here. And like so many of you at home, we've been watching the historic inauguration of Joe Biden as the 46th president of the United States at the Capitol today. And it all came down to this moment when Biden was sworn in on his family's Bible. I think it's about 100+ years old. He took the oath of office, officially becoming the president. He then gave a very moving speech. Let's all take a look.
We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed. To restore the soul and secure the future of America requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity.
Wow. And what's so moving to me, guys, is that was it, the Capitol, which 2 weeks to the day almost, we saw an insurrection of people breaking windows and coming into the opening where he was. What a change in 2 weeks. What does this emotionally sort of make you feel, Linz? How did you feel when you saw this?
I mean, I just think it's an intentional reason to bring everybody together amidst a whole year and then recently a couple of weeks of chaos. And so it just felt nice to have like a moment of like stillness and peace where everybody was on the same page, just like, okay, we're inaugurating a new president. This is something that our country stands behind and has done for years. And we're all just going to watch the same thing together and move forward. And hopefully that's the message that was sent clearly by Biden.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
I'm sorry, and because of that message, Tori, I know this is. I just watched your face when you walked in this morning. I know this process.
Nothing.
I mean, you love it. You love anything politics. You love this. But to me, I'm sitting here like, let's hurry it up. Hurry up, Lady Gaga. This guy has work to do. Because if you think about when Obama came into office, he inherited a horrible economy. Just think of what Joe Biden is inheriting right now: a fractured country, and also the pandemic. So to me, it's like, okay, I'm glad we have J-Lo and we have Lady Gaga and whomever else is going to be singing at this inauguration. But at the same time, I am also like, we've got so much work to do. So congratulations.
Get ready.
Get in office. Let's
Hurry
go.
it up is my favorite thing. Also, I do want to say, like, and I know this is going to sound nerdy, but Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated after the Civil War, and everyone's like, do we really need to finish the Capitol? Dome was being built, and he's like, no. It's so important optically that I'm there, that the dome is finished, that I have the transfer of power, that the Americans can see that. We're such a sort of a visual country. And to have the past presidents there, unfortunately, Jimmy Carter couldn't make it. Bless him, he's like 96 years old. But it was Bush, Clinton, we saw Obama, we saw all of them there. Mike Pence was there. That was important for the country and the world to see. We do have a democracy line of progression, and we're going through it. I also really want to bring this up. You guys remember Officer Eugene Goodman?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He's become the acting deputy Senate Sergeant at Arms.
Wow.
And he walked one Miss Kamala Harris, escorted her, and walked out to an applause in this inauguration. Of course, there's been calls to give him the Congressional Medal of Honor, give this man whatever he wants.
You've been talking about optics, and another reason why I'm ready for him to get back into office, not because of the 17 executive orders that he's going to sign today, but you talk about a lot of his top level picks. I mean, so far up to this point, at least 10 are women, at least 11 of people of color. So we talk about representation. We talk about people who want to step up and show this America that, hey, that I represent this community. We can do this job as well, and we can do it for the entire nation. So that's another reason why I'm like, hurry up, Gaga.
Yeah.
Joe's got some work.
Gaga, move it along.
President Biden has work to do.
And I think everybody is looking at what's going to happen in this first 100 days because, you know, at the same time that we are celebrating, or maybe not celebrating, and just looking at our country moving forward, we do have to understand that we hit a milestone with coronavirus deaths like recently. And so those two things juxtaposed with one another makes it a really hard time to be celebrating and upbeat, especially if you're dealing with losing a loved one recently or just dealing with anybody who's been getting through coronavirus. So
I'm so glad you brought that up because I don't know if you all saw last night, Kamala Harris and President Biden, the first time I've said that, lit up some lights, as you were saying yesterday's show, at the reflecting pool. And it reflected back into the water. And it was 400 lights to represent all 400,000 people that have died. And the water made it sort of endlessly multiply. And all you saw was it just going down. Very simple, just 400 lights. And I hope they keep that permanently because it reminded me of the Vietnam Memorial. I don't know if you've seen it. It's black granite. So not only do you see the names of who died, you see yourself and your face reflected into the names. It's an amazing monument by Maya Lin. She was, I think, 20 at the time when she designed it. But the lights that lit up, we haven't grieved for 400,000 people. We haven't acknowledged. And I want to show you this picture. This is Joe Biden being sworn in as senator in the beginning. If anyone's going to take us through this, it's Joe Biden. This is in a hospital room. I don't know if there's other pictures, but Beau and his son, we don't have them. They're in casts, and they're in the beds right next to him. there's all these amazing pictures of him being sworn in. He did it in the hospital room because he had just lost his wife and daughter, and Bo and Hunter were very injured in a car crash. If anyone knows grieving, this man knows grieving. And I think that's important to bring up because we haven't sort of acknowledged
Right,
that.
and not to say like, okay, we're going to talk about coronavirus tomorrow.
Right.
He made it like before he
I
actually
even do something.
Exactly, let me address this and
I'm
then
going to pay
move forward.
respects. Yeah, I thought that was moving.
Yeah, because we've seen for the last year that the coronavirus has been politicized. Now, with, like you said, the way that memorial was set up and how you can see your face in it, now it's personalized.
Very reflective, yeah.
Very personalized to people. And I think with our own audience, when we're talking coronavirus, we connect with you guys a lot deeper when we personalize it. So I'm glad they did that.
I was very happy to see that too. And then the nurse who sang, he looks over at her, who sang Amazing Grace a cappella, which made me just cry. He looks over at her and says, the angels, if they're angels in heaven, they're all nurses. And you know Joe Biden knows nurses. He's been in that hospital room. So beautiful, beautiful. Moving on to Vice President Kamala Harris. Well, she made some history today. Harris and her hubby, the second gentleman, entered the ceremony, got a loud round of applause from everyone in attendance. She was then sworn in as the country's first woman and the first person of color to take the vice presidential oath of office. Wearing purple to combine the blue, the red. Lindsay, seeing a person of color, a woman, I got goosebumps. What did it make you feel?
Also, I just want to talk about the purple because you and I were talking about it before the show. Like, it's such a regal choice.
Totally.
In addition to just being a mix of those two colors, purple is to me says I'm ready for this moment.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm ready to stand in my power. And so it's amazing about how much this means to women, to black women, to South Asian women. You know, I think that to all women across the board, to people that are saying we can take strides, to people that want to say, okay, there could be a first man someday. You know, there's so many different barriers that were broken, and it's hard when we talk about COVID and other things in the midst of historic things happening. You know, it's not getting the light and the shine that it deserves. But we will continue to talk about this and know that our history books will reflect what a huge, huge moment this was.
Did it take your breath away when you saw her walk out?
Yeah, and I think it did twice now, because when they first accepted the nomination, then I was like, well, you know, there's been several moments where I'm like, this is happening.
It's real.
Yeah, exactly. This is real.
Brendan, how'd you feel?
Well, I mean, I just think about back when we first began to talk about the Me Too movement. You know, fast forward to where we're at, who's being sworn in right now as vice president. So I'm looking at both of your faces even talking about it. And again, I'm always saying, who are going to be those women that I want my nieces to look up to, you know, and we have it right there. It's right there in our face, and we're living those times right now.
Absolutely. And I do believe, much like Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, I should say, picked an African-American designer who's young.
Wow.
So she's giving him or her, I believe, a shot. Michelle Obama looked flawless. I can't even. But she also picked a person of color to represent her fashion. That's a statement you get to make that Michelle purposely did. And I know that Dr. Biden will also take after that, which I think is interesting.
And people need to understand that a lot of times people of color see somebody like themselves, and then that's when they aspire to be those things. And a lot of times we don't see ourselves in these spaces to even be a child that says, I'm interested in becoming this when I get older, right? So that's why when you look at like athletes or you look at rappers and artists, it's like we see that. We see tons of people of color successful in those spaces. And so we're like, yes, I want to do that too. I want to be successful as well. But when you're seeing business owners and when you're seeing people lead countries, that is the big difference that tells a little girl or a little boy in school is going to say, I want to do that as well. And I think that's a huge deal.
And what did I say from the beginning? Optics. Visually, it's important to see that. I think it's beautiful.
And also, we're patriots as well, Lindsay. Our grandparents, our ancestors were patriots as well. They fought in every single war. They paid taxes. My father, grandparents, they paid taxes. So Angela Rye says it all the time. We built this joint for free. But now it's, you know, and I'm bringing that up, Lindsay, because like you said, for her to be using these designers, for us to see this representation, now we're hoping that those allies, those people who fought for us, those people who walked that bridge with John Lewis and Martin Luther King, like, these are the times these are the times, and hopefully, I'm not saying everything's going to be peachy.
Right. You're right. It's going to be hard.
I understand that things are going to go. There's going to be bad times, but at the same time, hopefully, those bad times will unite us and bring us together.
Best word you said is hopefully, because we do have a lot of hope.
I said like 10 great words.
You said great words, but that was one of them.
Great paragraph.
I'm sorry.
Triple word score all day today.
It's boggle up here. All right, before we go to break, we did want to share you that moving moment that I spoke about last night. This is, again, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris with their spouses. They honored all the Americans who died from the coronavirus. The lights lit up at sundown. They will continue to do so for I'm not sure how long, but they will be lit every sundown to dusk. They were lit at the Lincoln Memorial's reflecting pool. Again, you can see the lights endlessly multiplied for all the lives that we've lost. And a nurse, like I said, from Michigan who went viral last spring, sang such an amazingly poignant rendition of Amazing Grace. Gives you chills. We'll be right back.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Welcome back to DBL. Former President Trump and First Lady Melania left the White House this morning for the final time. The two boarded a helicopter, which took them to Joint Base Andrews. There, Trump made some final campaign-style remarks. Let's take a look.
I wish the new administration great luck and great success. I think they'll have great success. So just a goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form. Have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
But before leaving office today, Trump issued a bunch of pardons and commutations. As expected, rapper Lil Wayne made the list. Another famous rapper, Kodak Black, also received a presidential pardon. Snoop Dogg expressed his gratitude that his friend Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry O'Harris was released from prison after he was granted clemency. And Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon also received a pardon, but there were some very notable snubs as well. Tiger King star Joe Exotic, I'm so sorry, was not pardoned, which left many fans upset. Remember, he hired someone to murder someone.
Tori feels very strongly about this.
Strongly about this. People forget that. Other snubs include Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. I also want to make it very clear that President Trump did, in fact, leave a handwritten letter for President Biden in the Resolute desk. So I wanted to get that across as a nice, some kind of tradition that was followed.
So,
Wait, I just want to say that I'm happy that he said that those nice comments, that he wishes Biden luck, and that he left the note. I think that that was some type of statement like that was important.
Yes.
And even if it was the day before or the day of, the inauguration, I think that that was very important.
I do too. I wish he had said Biden's name because it really would have said something, but I agree. It was nice to pass that off. Pardons, guys. What do you guys think about, a lot of people wrote me, why can't we get rid of presidential pardons? Why does the president have this power? And I wanted to know your thoughts on that, Brandon.
We're talking about pardons like they're Grammy snubs right now. Like who got snubbed? The Weeknd didn't get a Grammy nomination right now. We're talking anything. I feel as though, I don't care who you are, the president of the United States, I don't care if you're the king of whatever country out there. When it comes to murder and top level corruption, absolutely, you should never be pardoned. You should be in there and you should rot in jail, prison for as long as your time.
So you're trying to limit and regulate the presidential pardoning power.
If it's something jaywalking, or if it's something that hey, it's a non-violent marijuana or drug crime, yes, you could commute or pardon that sentence, yes. But when it comes to murder or top level corruption, absolutely not. Because not only did you take someone's life, but that top level of corruption, you affected many lives as well.
Lizzie, you agree?
I don't know. I mean, these pardons we saw was like Russian roulette. I don't really know what the order. It was kind of random. I was reading the list like, okay, I'm confused. But so I don't really think that nobody to me on the list was like, oh my God, I'm clutching my pearls. But I think, that's a power that we put in place, and I don't mind it. I just, want some type of explanation. And when he said have a good life, I hope we hear from him again, maybe to have a conversation like most presidents do a couple of years later with Today's Show or any show or our show, and have a dialogue about what he's doing with his life now.
To be honest, I'm wearing pearls, and it's the only time I can say I clutched my pearls ever. Okay. Coming up on DBL,
Where's the end of the joke?
It wasn't. It was
that is the joke.
That's the joke.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy. Will incoming President Joe Biden be able to unify the country? We're going to share your DBL take. You've heard ours. Coming up next. Stay tuned.
on January 20th. The Constitution makes it very clear that this is the exact time when the transfer of power happens. And a lot of people are asking online,
President Joe
what
Biden
should
has
we
come in
expect
with a
from
clear
Joe
mission
Biden
to
on his
unite
first day,
Americans.
his first
Despite a
week,
very
and
divided
beyond?
country,
So
the new president plans to work with both parties to overcome the pandemic, put an end to social injustice, and restore faith in democracy. So we got to hear from you. Do you think Biden will be able to unite Americans? I'm going to go to Lindsay first with this comment from Gina. I was like, it's another Lindsay. Gina from Facebook says, many presidents have tried to achieve this and have not. However, I do think Biden is stepping in the right direction. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I think, Gina, I hope that he's stepping in the right direction by the way that he addressed the crowd and how he's moving forward in these first steps. But I'm not one to jump the gun and say, yes, Biden did a great job to unite us. You know, I want to see what he does. Like Brandon was saying earlier, these action steps that he actually takes to get us to move forward and unite.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Good point. Brandon Mark from YouTube says, it's a tall order, but it needs to happen. If our country continues to be this divided, I'm leaving.
Mark, our passports aren't allowed in too many countries across the globe right now, so it looks like you're going to have to stay put. But I'm with you, man. Like, to me, this does not mean that, America is going to be just roses and candy dandelions now, going forward. I understand that, like I said, we're still going to have discourse. I just hope that this opens people up now for us to understand that we have to understand each other. We have to be able to live with each other. So when it comes to something that Joe Biden may say or some new policy, I still want to be able to speak to Republicans and my friends because, one, I think that after this 4 years, I want oversight and I want context.
There you go. And just so you know, Biden took Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer to Mass this morning, and they all prayed together with Kevin McCarthy and Pelosi. So he is trying, I think, visually at least, to see that. Allie from Facebook says, I'm optimistic that Biden and Harris will bring the country together like never before. It's going to be a very difficult thing. Very difficult. And the field of flags, has all 50 states of the flags to represent all Americans. And I think you're going to see Biden push that point. Even if you didn't vote for me, I'm going to work for you. That's his goal, to unify. Lindsay, let's see if we can get this last one in. Thomas says, I don't think it's going to be that difficult. I think more Americans are ready to come together than not.
And Thomas, I was talking to my mom about this yesterday, about how many people there really are that were devout President Trump fans and stood by him. And so I hope this message this morning was helpful to help people step to the side and really give Biden a chance. But we'll see. We have to see.
Yeah,
I think it is tough to bring 50% of the country on your side if they haven't changed their mind already.
It's a tall order. He has 78 years of service to prove what he can do. Let's see what happens. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and a lot of you are writing in about the very young poet. It's a female person of color. Her name is Amanda Gorman. She's the National Youth Poet Laureate. Dr. Jill Biden asked for her specifically to read a poem at the inauguration, which you've seen before. Maya Angelou famously did for Clinton, and it just was a hit. So everyone's wondering who she is. She's 22, the youngest ever to give a poem at the inauguration. I just wanted to give everyone a name, Amanda Gorman.
I love that we always find the person, because I think we need to, just like the Capitol Hill officer that saved the day, we need to point out who that person is and celebrate them.
You're so right. You're so right. Personalize it, like Brandon said. All right, well, DBL, we're new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Thank you.